Alright then guys, so let's get the party started. Let's actually start with Kaspa's dashboard. And by the way, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing and remember that this video is not financial advice. Now guys, looking at Kaspa's dashboard, well, Kaspa dropped below $3 billion if it comes to market cap, which definitely isn't very juicy. And also the ranking if it comes to market cap is at number 47. Again, Kaspa is currently being outperformed by different projects. The volume is sitting at 175, well, almost 76 million USD. And now guys, let's continue with this because Mr. Shai has posted clarification, right? So I'm going to read a bit of it. This is my personal account from which I wrote about whatever interests me. One of the things that interests me is Kaspa, but that does not mean that my profile is an official Kaspa outlet or any content posted there in any way represent the Kaspa community, any team working for Kaspa or the Kaspa ethos in general. It represents me and me alone. Those who are not interested in non-Kaspa related content are welcome to follow the Kaspa currency account, which is dedicated to Kaspa alone and represents a wider portion of the community instead. Guys, so obviously I don't want to bore you with this long post, but basically he's saying how he enjoys different topics besides crypto and Kaspa. And again guys, basically coming back to the conversation that I have mentioned about yesterday, well, Mr. Shai definitely has a right to do so, okay? Personally, I don't think that he should be doing this, perhaps, okay? Because again, many normies are, or many people, potentially new investors, could be potentially scared about, technically controversial topics. But again, I don't think that this negatively impact Kaspa. However, probably it shouldn't be there. Well, again, I cannot say that he shouldn't be doing this, right? Because everybody has a right to share whatever they want on X, especially. But if it would be me, right, I probably wouldn't be doing it, right, since I would be representing Kaspa. Nonetheless, guys, let's move, right, because I have found this. Would Mara spend millions buying Kaspa miners if they thought Kaspa was going to zero? Well, that's a valid point. Would Grayscale list Kaspa if they thought it was trash? Would Binance list futures, open a mining pool and offer incentives if they thought it was going to zero? Would the hash rate be smashing all-time highs if it were going to zero? Use your brain. I know it's hard for some of you to use other metrics other than price action to dictate an asset's potential, but these institutions are all smarter than you and have teams of people smarter than you. Once again, control your emotions, use your brain, and for crying out loud, stop using the price chart as your main indicator of value. Well, indeed guys, so that's the reason why I'm always sharing kind of different data for Kaspa and different news in order to kind of bring you broad perspective of Kaspa and of course overall market and what's going on, right? Because obviously looking at only price action, right, like that, it's not really going to help you, right? We have to do a little bit of a further research if it comes to Kaspa news, stuff like this, and overall sentiment. And of course, guys, that applies to every single project. Now let's move because we've got Linear that posted this. So Ethereum 2016, 2017 fractal. He tested other fractals and they all point to the price range of $4 to $5. So does it seem possible? Most have lost hope in Kaspa, thinking it will max out at 50 cents this bull run. Guys, exactly. Yesterday I was basically saying that Kaspa is going to reach $1 or $2 and that could be top, right? But obviously, this bull cycle is going to be huge, right? There is a lot of money that's going to flow into the markets, right? Because I believe that you remember, well, I hope you remember, I've been showing you the chart regarding the money supply, right? The global liquidity supply, and we are barely reaching number 50. Okay, so I do believe that lots of money is going to enter, through the markets, right, into the circulation, and why Kaspa wouldn't get that share. Okay, since it's a huge project and obviously there is a huge demand if it comes to searches for Kaspa, right? And of course the community, we are quite stubborn with our Kaspa, let's say. But anyways, let's move because we've got this Kaspa report that I have found that was posted on December 10th, but I believe it's still valid. So over a quarter of the circulating supply of Kaspa has not moved in 1 year or longer. This amount will continue to rise as more and more market participants turn to Kaspa as a store of value. Obviously the price action is shit, I'm not going to lie. However, looking from August 28, we can see that we have a slow grind towards the upside if it comes to that circulating supply. So I believe that's bullish, but of course long term, guys. Now, looking at overall market, guys, things are looking actually very well, right? Move is moving 25%, and obviously we do have this well, little recovery, I would say. My portfolio is definitely looking better, but definitely not as good as, let's say, a couple of weeks ago, okay, before this crash. Nonetheless, I believe, you know, good things are yet to come. Looking at monthly, this is what's going on monthly, guys, but we are going to look at the charts and we are going to see where we can potentially expect some, well, fireworks, let's say. So if it comes to coin market cap, we are sitting at greed, okay, according to coin market cap, and now according to CoinGlass, we are sitting at greed 73, right? So somebody is lying, right? Well, to be honest with you, I trust this more, right? Because this website obviously has a lot of data, right, such as funding rates, RSIs, liquidity and stuff like this, right? So let's say that we are roughly anything between 60 and 70, and if it comes to ETF inflows for BTC, let's say as of yesterday, 24th of December, well, we've got 338 million, well, 0.4 to be exact, of outflows for BTC. Now let's have a look at Ethereum ETFs, because what I want to see is something positive, and we do have something positive. Maybe it's not huge, guys, but you see that, you know, transition at the moment, right? The money is basically slowly starting to flow towards Ethereum, which is definitely a bullish thing. Hashtag path to altcoin season. Anyways, let's move, because Mr. El Crypto Prof is posting this regarding our beloved altcoins. And by the way, guys, don't worry, we are going to look at Kaspa's chart. So another chart that he shared months ago. All you have to do is nothing. Enjoy the holiday season, because after that it might be very exciting for altcoins. So what is he talking about, right? He has posted complete Elliott wave, right? So we've got well, impulse wave 1, then corrective wave 2, 3, 4, 5, and then ABC. Obviously that's going to be the bear cycle, right? But guys, remember, this is 2 weekly, okay? So this is macro chart, all right? So that basically happened in 2020, right? We had impulsive wave number 2, then we had 2, right? We had the correction, whatever, then we had 3, 4 and 5, right? And then basically that whole target played out, right? So if we are going to follow Elliott wave, correction waves, whatever, then we can potentially expect, you know, altcoins reaching, let's say 3.1 whatever, almost 4 trillion USD, and then the pullback, and then the last leg up, which actually is going to make sense, right? Obviously altcoins are lagging behind BTC, right? So BTC, I believe, still has these, let's say, 1.5 leg up, okay, and altcoins strong 2 legs towards the upside, okay? Of course, guys, that could be wrong, right? But that kind of makes sense, at least to me. Now looking at Max chart, big shout out by the way, he says that everything is going as planned for BTC, okay? So, well, based on these bull rally green rectangles and of course RSI, it looks like we are nowhere near the top for BTC. Many people are calling for the bear cycle and all of this only because we are experiencing a little bit of a pullback, right? But many people also were calling for, you know, bear cycle when we had this huge bear flag, and then boom, right, we had the exit out of it, right? So I'm going to stick to technicals, basically the data, and that's about it, guys. And yes, I know it feels really shit, right? Because you put your money in, you want to, you know, treat your misses or do whatever, and you want to get that money out, hopefully with profit. Damn, that would be great. Okay, hopefully you're not going to lose any money regardless of what you're holding. But again, guys, this is the game, this is the patience game, right? So as much as I feel you and as much as I feel the same, I cannot really let my emotions to take over my money, right? But anyways, looking at RSI, guys, right, we got peak. This is monthly chart, I do believe so. I haven't really mentioned, but it looks like a monthly. Okay, so we had peak on traditional RSI peak, and then here obviously we are going to see some peak. Okay, so we haven't really reached this truly overheated level if it comes to RSI for BTC. Okay, so I would chill out. Anyways, let's have a look at our beloved Kaspa. Let's start with hourly. Okay, so what hourly is showing? Well, technically we could argue that we are basically above this downtrend for Kaspa, but obviously, guys, you know, that's ridiculous. That's just 1 hourly. Let me actually move this in here slightly. Okay, so at the moment we can technically argue that we are basically supported by this level in here. Let me zoom it in a little bit. Okay, but the question is, are we going to get rejected from this level roughly? Well, stochastic RSI is showing us some fuel in here towards the upside, and the MACD is actually looking very nice. Okay, but that's obviously just a short time frame. Let's have a look at 4 hourly. So 4 hourly, guys, is showing us that we are just about to see, you know, lower momentum. All right, that's not juicy at all. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. Okay, and of course we are going to have a look at liquidity. Okay, so daily time frame is basically, you know, flattening again. Okay, obviously, you know, 1 hourly and 4 hourly is nothing, right? Daily is showing us potential reversal towards the upside, as you can clearly see in here. So let's hope that Kaspa is going to reach some higher levels. All right, and now guys, let's have a look at the weekly. What is going on the weekly? Okay, so on the weekly time frame, this is what's going on. We still are experiencing this bearish momentum. Let me actually zoom it in a little bit, and you can see that this candle basically, oopsie doopsie, let me just move it in a little bit, my mouse anyways. We can see that this candle basically has a little body, and we have a huge wick that's basically pushing the price towards the downside. So basically bears, or whoever is pushing the price towards the downside. Okay, but that's obviously something that can change in an instant when we are going to see Mr. Donald, you know, at office, and basically that, you know, second wave of crypto is going to follow. Anyways guys, let's have a quick look at liquidity for BTC first, right? So at the moment, on a daily at least, everybody is longing BTC. Okay, and let's have a look at all of the exchanges on 7 daily. So on 7 daily, everybody is still shorting. Okay, so well, I do believe, based on this at least, is that the price is going to go towards the upside. But let's have a look at the heat map very quickly for BTC. So Binance 24 hourly, we've got significant levels of liquidity at 97,000. So I wouldn't really be surprised if BTC would dip towards these levels and then potentially gear up towards this level of 99, well, almost 100k, right? Because we've got some levels in here at a little bit above 100k. Let's have a look at the weekly time frame, guys, because obviously I showed you this on a weekly, and let's see where the liquidity lays. So this is weekly time frame, guys. The question is, could BTC dip again towards 92,300 level, right? So it can grab this liquidity, or we are prone towards the breakout and basically continuing the next wave, right? 99-ish K, 100K, whatever. So that's the situation with BTC. Now let's have a quick look at our beloved Kaspa, Binance Perpetual Daily. Okay, so everybody's shorting our beloved Kaspa. Cool. Let's have a look at Kaspa in here, 7 daily. So now we've got 9.65 million worth of shorts versus 7.25 million worth of longs. So technically the price should follow, you know, bigger chunks of liquidity. But let's see, guys, let's have a look at the heat map now. Let's have a look at Kaspa Perpetual. Well, that's a weekly one. Okay, so let's firstly have a look at very short time frame. Okay, so based on the liquidity, right, we can clearly see that this wick, right, it was just a liquidity grab in here in order to grab this liquidity, and to be exact, grabbing 126, well, almost 7k if it comes to that leverage. And now, guys, we have very similar level, 126,000, right, at the price of 12 cents one. So that's what I'm seeing, basically, that Kaspa could go towards these levels, right? Obviously, crypto has to follow liquidity. Of course, not always, because there could be some catalyst, either bearish or bullish, and can, you know, push the price either way. Nonetheless, let's have a look at the weekly. Okay, because that's something that we really need to care about. This is something that we have to pay attention to. Okay, so we have liquidity piling in here, 11 cents one, okay, no, 11 cents four, sorry. Then we've got lower levels, 11 cents three. Okay, well, I wouldn't be surprised if Kaspa would dip here again, but so what, guys? All right, because we've got some momentum in here in terms of liquidity, right? We've got 203,000, then we've got 234k, and we've got 171. So definitely this area is juicier for, you know, market makers and, you know, basically manipulators. And yes, I do believe that they are, you know, people that have a lot of money, they can, you know, move the price of these little projects. Okay, and yes, I still do believe that, you know, a couple of billion for these huge players is not that much. Anyways, now guys, let's have a look at trading view, because obviously Kaspa chart and liquidity isn't everything that we have to follow. BTC's dominance on a weekly time frame. So BTC's dominance on a weekly time frame, this is what's going on. Okay, we have the first weekly candle that basically is being, well, rejected from this level of rising wedge, which is definitely a bullish thing. All right, but let's have a look at the daily now, guys. What's going on the daily? Okay, so very unfortunate thing is that the dominance got, well, roughly kind of supported in here by this kind of, you know, formation, let's say, of bear flag, and now we've got another push, and then hopefully this candle is going to have well, cascading effect towards the downside. And why do I think so? Well, based on these little technicals, RSI is basically going downward, and MACD is about to flip bearish. Let me zoom it in a little bit. So you see, guys, right, that this blue line is basically going downwards, right, and sooner or later they are going to cross, which is definitely a good thing. Let's actually go back to the weekly. So weekly is showing us this. Hopefully what's going to happen on a weekly for BTC is that we are going to see, you know, such momentum. Okay, that's what I want to see, and that's very bullish for altcoins. And now, guys, weekly perspective for USDT dominance, right, we are still below this level of 4.37. This is very nice. Okay, but now let's go to the daily time frame, guys, something smaller. Excuse me with this, I believe that belongs to yesterday's TAs and video. So what's going on, guys, right? USDT dominance is basically in this situation. Okay, it's being currently supported by this overall, let's say, downtrend, this red line. And what I want to see is actually USDT dominance going below this line, right? So there is more bearishness for USDT dominance. Let's have a look at smaller time frame, but before that, let's actually have a look quickly on MACD. So guys, as you can clearly see, daily is basically showing us very similar scenario to Bitcoin's dominance, right? So on a daily, we are here. If it comes to RSI, hopefully we are going to end up it here. And now we've got MACD that is flattening, and hopefully we are going to see this bearish cross. Okay, let's see what is going to happen in the next 24 hours, ladies and gents. And now quick look at others excluding top 10, guys. All right, so others excluding top 10 are basically inversely correlated to USDT dominance and of course BTC's dominance, right? So we can see that this is basically flattening in here, but towards the upside, which is definitely bullish for altcoins. Okay, well, obviously the daily candle is bearish, but whatever, let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. That's about it, guys. I believe that crypto is about to pump in coming weeks. Nobody really knows when exactly, but I hope this kind of, you know, calmed you down a little bit, because obviously we have to trust the data. And if it comes to Kaspa, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Obviously I am bullish on Kaspa long term and all of this, right? However, I strongly suggest that you are going to diversify your portfolio in order to capitalize as much as possible during this cycle. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, peace and love crypto. And by the way, Merry Christmas, everybody.